welcome to the Redvee TV Instant Fan Reaction, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2022 season, following Saints' 20 points to 12 victory over the Castleford Tigers here on Sunday afternoon. Kevin, live on Channel 4, and I hear Channel 4 plus one are scrambling to put Countdown on instead.
I would. You know, as I said, I wouldn't watch that Salford game again. There's another one that I wouldn't put myself through.
Again, you never seen it the first time.
I think the ending of that game just sums everything up. Alex Walmsley tapping it to himself, dropping it and picking it back up to end the game.
Imagine if we were winning by one, and do you know what? I'm going to end the game here, lads. We're not going to run it in and risk getting the ball stolen. I'm going to just drop it and pick it back up.
Good way of doing it.
Brilliant.
No injuries.
Well, yeah. If Regan had done that last week, he wouldn't have got hurt. Sadly, underwhelming to say the least. It just never seemed to get going. Lots of injuries, lots of penalties, lots of breakups in play. I thought first 20 we looked better, and then it just fizzled out.
Yeah, I think you've got it right. The first 20 or so, it was a decent performance without us putting it to bed. Some good play there, but then second half, it was like we'd switched off. It was like we'd kind of cue was on the rack.
20-0 game over. We've
done it here. We're just going to keep going through the motions, and there wasn't kind of the intensity. It's just a forgettable game, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, we've already discussed many times of, is that worth your season ticket money?
No. No, I'm not paying for that one.
Obviously, Christian's listened and watched what's been going on the last few weeks. He's put Roby back into into 9, Wellesby back in the halves, John Bennison at full-back, and we looked better. It seemed to go off a little bit when Wellesby went off with his head knock, and we had to start moving the chess pieces around. Up until that point, if say first 15-20 minutes, we did look much better, and it does make you who were those 13 imposters on the pitch last week at Salford.
Yeah, that's it. As we were saying, how you just stick players in their positions and play your best players where they are going to be most effective. Roby's most effective at 9. Wellesby currently is more effective than Roby in the halves. John Bennison's a good up-and-coming kid at full-back, who today, made a couple of mistakes there today, especially in the second half, but they're the type of things that you've got to do and get away with and learn from, and he will do.
I thought he looked safe under the high ball. Brought the ball, returned well. And for me, if Hopoati's not fit as your full-back, I would leave Wellesby where he is now, and I would play John Bennison at 1.
Yeah, definitely. Instead of mucking about, he shows enough. You're never worried about him. I don't think you're ever worried about him. We've said this time and time again. He's such a kind of composed player for someone so young.
Curtis Sirenen didn't suffer a season-ending injury last week. Obviously we said in the preview that he was in the squad. He played today, and he showed up again. I thought he was excellent once again. He just gives you that little bit of steel on that left edge.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the only worry is next week he's been sin-binned for a high shot. If it's a sin-binning, is he going to get a game as well? I think he's served his ban, really, or for me he should have served his ban there. Referee's seen it and dealt with it. I think that's enough. I dread to think kind of what that left-hand side would have been like without Curtis. I think that sometimes we're exposed, and once Castleford started finding a way of isolating our centre and winger, that's how they started getting a little bit of juice out of the game.
You got the impression that for Amo, once he got that first one, they realised that there was mileage there, wasn't there? Obviously, once the second has gone in, Christian's tried to tighten it up a little bit, tried to add a little bit of bulk on that left-hand side. Good job Castleford haven't got a kicker.
Well, yeah, they're missing one, aren't they? I'm not adding to that.
Sorry, but the amount of times you go on social media and you see, Saints need a kicker, let's get Danny Richardson back. Well, then let's put that one to bed for now.
Two from the touchline. He didn't fancy the third one. They got the left footer in to bring it back in.
Still missed that.
But listen, I just think that the game as a whole, I think if we're up against a tougher opposition, I think if we're against probably Wigan there, or Leeds as they're going at the minute, I think we're in a lot more strife than we were against what was a poor Castleford side today.
Are we finding out bits of the jigsaw and realising where players lie? Now, obviously, if Mark Percival's not back anytime soon, what do you do moving forward to the end of the season? Does Ben Davies stay at centre, or do you look to solidify it a little bit and maybe put Sione there?
I think you probably go with Sione. You probably go with the experience.
Australian centre?
Yeah, well, that's it. And if we're going to start going through we need to start cementing places in the team and who's going to kind of have that jersey for the rest of the year or for the next 4 weeks or whatever it is that Percy's out. I think you've got to go with the experience. We've got enough in the back row to kind of negate Sione being out there. And I think I said it in the preview show, we ended up with Ben Davies and Dan Hill over on that left-hand side. I'd have played Makinson on the left with Ben Davies, and I'd have played Dan Hill with Conrad, just so you've got one experience and one inexperience.
Yeah. You just got the feeling we were left... Dan Hill on the he was left a little bit exposed at times, and listen, that's what happens when you've got a new combination who haven't played together before and how they work together. But yeah, for me, if once Hopoate comes back, Hopoate into full back, Benison on the wing, Sione at centre.
Yep, I'd have no problems with that. Absolutely.
That essentially is how you'd want to line up in a grand final or a semi.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I know Christian Wolf, and we were on about this in the preview show, saying about how we can't start getting all the combinations right. You might be able to look at one or two and go, that's what I'm going to go with. Until we get positive news on Percy, that's what we're going to go with. When Percy's back, he slots straight in, Sione goes into second row.
Any other good performances there today for you? Jack Wellsby got man of the match.
Jake Winfield got it on Channel 4 as well. I thought Jake Winfield had his best game in a while. To me, I mean, we've mentioned Sirenen, we mentioned John Benison, Tommy Makinson coming back. You see what you get from him. I think
it's night and day, isn't it? It's unreal. It's like it's not his try scoring ability. It's his speed. He returns and the power.
It's the work rate that he gets through. Yeah. And that's it, when you've got someone like him who's running it in like a second row and making them meters after contact. Listen, it just benefits the team and puts you in a better position when you're moving down the field.
Hull away next week is a really, really big one in our season, isn't it? Obviously, we've got 2 away games left now. Wigan away being the other one. You'd assume that you're going to win your home games. Hull KR, Wakefield to lose, so we can only afford to lose one if Wigan win out.
Yeah.
So Hull away next week is a really massive game for us, isn't it?
Yeah, and as you say, you've got to get that right, and we've got to get the performance right there. It's got to move back to more of a Huddersfield style performance rather than Wakefield, Salford, or today. It's got to be up a notch. Were we expected to come here and it be easy? I wasn't. But you're expecting us to go and kind of give Hull more of a game, because if a Hull team turns up, if Castleford turn up and aren't as bad as they were in that first half, it's a completely different scoreline there, mate.
Hull are more than capable of turning up, but unfortunately they usually only turn up 1 in 10.
Yeah.
You just hope that 1 in 10 is not against us next week, and we've got to go there with a better attitude than we showed against Salford. And hopefully there'll be a couple more chess pieces back there, and we're not left in a checkmate situation.
You've been watching chess or something?
Like Gary Kasparov, whatever his name is. Is that his name?
That's his name. Yeah. Well done.
What do you think of the camera work today? I think it's a bit lackadaisical, but
well, yeah. Listen, we can't have everything, can we?
People criticised the sound on the preview show. That's because we had a new laptop and we hadn't installed the drivers properly, so it should improve next week. Camera, we'll work on it.
Yeah.
Right. Don't forget. I'm getting a sad face. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you for the preview show on Friday. Oh, and we might have something else during the week. Catch you soon.